hair.
Barbara
Hands.
It's the Barbara Walters hand spray.
And I said, you know, John, at some point we're going to have some other networking. We want to help you move your business forward because you're a good guy. And today, you know, we get that chance. John's been on board with the GNA for a few months now. He started coming to our events. He's been to San Jose and several times here in San Bruno. So on that note, please give a big, warm GNA welcome to John.
Yay!
Rehnberg.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. No applause, just money. Okay, so first of all, I appreciate it very much being able to talk about a company that I'm so very passionate about. You know, I've been representing other companies in another industry for about 30 some odd years, but also been in Rotary for over 24 years, and I have a very strong altruistic streak in me, and this really touches my heartstrings where I live as far as helping people. You know, if you get two people together for their mutual good, why wouldn't you? That would be my bio statement in Rotary. So I've really connected my heart with the LegalShield effort. You know, back in Washington, D.C., at the Justice Department, they have etched in stone over the entrance, Justice for All. The words to that effect. Well, they really should have continued that, chiseling up to justice for all who can afford it. Because there's so many of us that are priced out of the legal system. The average hourly rate in California now is in excess of $350 an hour average. And the very first thing that an individual or a small business has to do is make a financial decision on a dispute, on a problem. You know, there's a lot of people out here in the business that are unethical, immoral, what have you, and will absolutely screw you for an amount of dollars that they think you can't afford to hire an attorney for. Because, oh, they're not going to hire an attorney to come after me for $500 or $100 or whatever. The beauty of this concept with LegalShield is that it has no bearing on the service that you get. Now, going back in time in the early 70s, Harlan Stonecipher, an insurance broker in Oklahoma, got in a pretty serious auto accident, and you know, a lot of damages and what have you, and it wasn't his fault. But yet the person who hit him, whose fault it ultimately was, came after him and sued him. What do you have to do when you get sued? You have to defend yourself. Mr. Stonecipher was, you know, up to his ears in legal costs, and out of that was born the concept of prepaid legal services. Same as auto, fire, health insurance. Small amount of money. They do for legal costs what those auto, fire, and health plans do for those costs. And they do it under a really interesting system. It's called the provider law firm system. And in California, it happens to be a very large law firm in Los Angeles called Parker Stanberg. You can look them up at parkstan.com. They've been in existence since the 20s. About 100 attorneys strong, plus all the appropriate support staff. And they are contractually bound to help us, you know, the membership in California, serve us. We are actually collectively their #1 client. We are paying, it's public knowledge, I don't mind talking about it. They're being paid now in excess of $1.5 million a month to handle the growing California membership. Now, as a result, as you can imagine, we're their #1 client. You think they would ever do anything to jeopardize that flow of business? So they're already, in essence, prepaid. So it doesn't matter, folks, if it's a $50 dry cleaning bill or whatever. If you're getting shafted, you pick up that 800 number. You don't have to call, pay for the phone calls. You tell them what your issue is. You're guaranteed a call back within 8 business hours from the appropriate specialist attorney who case to the logical conclusion, which is typically, to your satisfaction. I was real happy to be the facilitator of saving a woman's home from foreclosure, single mom, a while back. She was up to her ears and over and under, upside down, whatever you want to call it. And she was referred to me as a friend of a friend. I said, listen, take the membership, get in the system. They have a foreclosure specialist attorney on staff. And if you're not satisfied, I'll give you your money back, which, big deal. It's $10 registration fee and $35.95 for the first month. Well, long story short, this attorney just opened up the earth underneath the lender and got it squared away and got her a loan remodification package, and she's a happy camper. She says, I'll never be without this service. So there is no issue too small, too trivial, too major to handle. There's a multitude of services, and I'm going to briefly go over those, but I want you to think of something, do a small little exercise with me. Personally, I want you to think what you and your family spend on a average daily basis, unnecessarily. I'm talking, Cokes, gourmet coffee, drinks, it doesn't matter. Unnecessary expenditures. I want you to think of that dollar figure per day. Don't tell me it's none of my business. You keep in your mind, and let me just briefly go across the services that you have available to you. You have what they call preventative legal services. Telephone consultation, unlimited. You can call every day if you want. They get a little tired of you if you call every single day on the same matter. But you know what I'm saying, is every day you can call twice a day, doesn't matter. It's different legal issues. You're going to get letters and phone calls. It's deemed appropriate to have letters and phone calls made on your behalf. Contracts and document review. You have unlimited contract review, up to 10 pages maximum per contract. And one of the cool things is you get a fully executed will with yearly updates. Statistics say that 70% of you do not have a will. Okay? It's a $750 value. I got that right from the horse's mouth, from the managing partner of the law firm when he's up making the presentation to us. He says it's a $750 value, folks. Anybody who walks in off the street and wants that will that you have for your members and yourself, $750. So, going on, you have traffic-related issues. You have, if it's defensible, arguable, what have you. If you're speeding or you ran over somebody, that's a different story. You're probably going to get nailed. But you have traffic representation by a local attorney that the provider law firm will hire for you. To go in and argue before the judge. One of the biggest pluses is that points are kept off of licenses in a lot of cases. Trial defense. The first year at 75 hours. Combination of pre-trial and trial time if somebody sues you. We're the most litigious society in the face of the earth. Statistically, you're 3 times more apt to be sued and in court than in hospitalization. That's borne out by statistics by national organizations. And so it grows each year. Now, my wife and I, we have after 5 years, year in and year out, we have 335 hours every year, year in and year out, if somebody sues us. I'm sorry?
Does it accumulate year?
Well, what happens,
you have 330,
I have 335 hours per year. So I can use 335 hours in 2012. In 2013, I now have another 335 hours.
Okay, so it drops. So if you don't use it this year,
it doesn't go. It
doesn't carry over.
IRS audit assistance, you have 50 hours of a tax attorney's assistance, both pre-conference and then in-conference representation. And then if something goes beyond all of these different areas, you're guaranteed a 25% discount off the attorney's standard and normal hourly rate, and that includes the local referral attorneys as well. Okay? And then another cool thing is, I'm driving 3 o'clock in the morning, and I get pulled over by a law enforcement officer that maybe is just a little bit too aggressive. It's going to step all over your rights. He says, open up your trunk. I'm going to look in your trunk. Why? I just want to. But you're a probable cause. I have the ability to take my cell phone out, call a 24-hour 800 number, and have the on-call attorney from this law firm open up at his home, her home, and they will say, typically, give the phone to the officer I want to talk to. And they will then talk to the attorney or to the officer, and it'll simply go like this. I understand you have this, this, and this going. It doesn't sound like you have a probable cause. Tell me if you did. If you do. But it doesn't sound like you do. And if you persist, we will see you in court. You can be rest assured. And that's a lot. 99% of the time, it just chases the officer away. Go about your business, have a good night, whatever. Or if you're involved in a major accident, you know, and there's you know, you have to be careful what you say and you do and so forth. Legally, same deal. Call and get advice right there on the spot. So that in itself is incredible value, but on top of which you also get a restoration-based identity theft shield program. Not by the law firm, but by a partner of LegalShield called Kroll International. Anybody ever heard of Kroll, per chance? Okay. They're probably one of the largest, if not the largest, fraud investigation firms in the world. Kuwaiti government hired them to go after Saddam's assets in the first Gulf War. They did the forensic investigation work on Enron's collapse. They're huge, powerful. They approached, at the time, Prepaid Legal 2 years back, said, we want to design a restoration-based identity theft shield program for your members. Obviously, they wanted access to the, whatever it is now, 1.5 million, 2 million members. So here's what we'd like to do. And so they now have this program, and this is included in the monthly cost. The restoration is so critical because of the fact that, yeah, there's a lot of credit card companies and what have you, they'll do some credit monitoring or so forth, or let you know if something happened. But restoration work, I don't know, maybe something really limited. This restoration facet of the plan doesn't matter how long it takes. No cost to you, no extra cost to you, no time on your behalf, and they will make you whole again, no matter how long it takes. There's 2 levels of that: 1 credit report monitoring, and then all 3 of the credit report monitoring. And by the way, speaking of identity theft, it's personally identifiable information fraudulently to access. That's basically what identity theft is. And it's not just financial, folks. It's financial, it's medical, it's driver's license, it's character criminal, your records and public records and what have you. Not to mention, stealing your Social Security number. So it just, and then of course there's all kinds of ways that they get at you. Dumpster diving, somebody was just saying this morning, I gave a talk to a Kiwanis group this morning, the guy said, I chase off these people that go through my recycling at 4 o'clock in the morning. What do I know what they're doing? And I said, well, you're right. Because you need it. Best investment you can do, of course, is a shred. Is to take 25, 50 bucks, whatever it is, and buy an inexpensive shredder and to shred your information before you run it out of your site. And for God's sake, don't put mail out on the porch or out on the curb, with a flag up. If you have that kind of a situation, that's just literally a red flag. So there's all kinds of things. There's a lot of common sense here. And, oh, by the way, a bit of an aside, but somewhat related. I just heard I got an email from a friend that, you know what the latest thing is they're doing now? Is you know, when you use your debit card at a grocery store and the cash back, some unscrupulous clerks, cashiers or whatever, are hitting the cash back for X amount of bucks without you knowing it. And unless you check your receipt, it's there. And once you walk out that door, forget it. It's he said, she said. It's your word against theirs. So we know you didn't get that cash back. You know, it's gone from our till. So what they'll do is they'll either pocket it or give it to an accomplice who's right behind you in line. So that's another thing that you should really watch yourself on, is check that history.
I heard a lot of the self-checkouts in stores are getting, hijacked.
Could be.
For lack of a better word, and the ATM credit card systems are getting swapped out from somebody that knows someone in the store, the accomplice, I guess.
Yep.
So there's a lot of self-checkouts.
Oh yeah, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's like you're getting hit from every direction. So, it's diligent vigilance. Okay? A lot of common sense stuff, and what I've done is I've made some copies of things for you to take with you today and read at your leisure. And also phishing on your computer, and also issues with social networking, very topical as well. So I got a copy of that. Where a lot of that stuff is, you know, is certainly going to be common sense, but it's a good reminder for you.
Hey, John, put away and look at me when you mention that.
Because I think you're Mark Zuckerberg's illegitimate uncle. I don't know.
I'm not getting paid, man.
I understand that. It's your passion, man. Everybody knows that. So, and there's all kinds of, you know, from the Consumer Federation, American 10 Easy Steps to Protect Yourself, and so on. So I put all this together, and, you know, as I said in the beginning, think of a dollar figure. You know, and I've heard everything from $1 or $2 to $20 a day, depending on who I'm talking to. What I just talked about, all the legal services and the one credit report monitoring identity theft shield is $1.10 a day. It's $1.10 a day cost. It's like $35.95 a month, $10 registration. And it's 30 days cancel. Those of you that have businesses to protect, small business outside the home, they have a small business plan, one for under 50 employees and 50 to 100 employees. But the 50 and under employee small business plan is about $2.40 a day, $75 a month.
You can write it off.
Oh, good Lord! You can write it, absolutely. No question about that.
And you have the auditor available.
Yeah, and then if you that may have a home-based business, what you do is you do the $35.95 plan, which is for you and your family. By the way, speaking of family, your spouse is covered, of course. Your children under 18 living at home, never been married, are covered. And not most importantly, but very importantly, especially to me, my daughters being away at school and so on, up to 23 years old, anywhere in the United States, they're covered. So they can have legal services in that part of the country they happen to go to school at. So anyway, $35.95 for the individual / family, and then $14.50 for the home-based business. It's treated as a rider on the okay. So, any questions or anything you want to ask me or talk about real quickly? Otherwise, we'll wrap this up.
Well, I can vouch for I've had that program for about 18 years, and I use it all the time. They have all 26 areas of law that they cover, experts in their field. I use it for my grandmother, my kids, myself, my business. But one time, a CPA had agreed to do my taxes for $1,000, and then didn't do it, and then sent me a bill for the whole 1,000. So I called to ask for a refund because they didn't do my taxes. And they said no. So I called Prepaid Legal, or now LegalShield. And they sent them one letter and I got my $1,000 check back in the mail. So they're powerful because they are such an extraordinary law firm. But just to get that heading, it tells people, so whether it's a phone bill that you want reimbursement on, a department store, anything, they'll help you. It's really great.
One last thing I actually kind of somewhat overlooked. In the small business, whether it be home-based business or out of the home business, you also have Fran Tarkington, you may or may not remember that name, Hall of Fame football player, tremendous entrepreneur, businessman. He's on the prepaid, it was at the time, prepaid board of directors. He has a web-based company called GoSmallBiz.com, and he has a partnership agreement with LegalShield, where you also get a series of services from him, from his company, not the least of which is unlimited business consultation. You have a business problem in your business, and you need advice, you need some kind of direction or another set of eyes and ears on it. What you do is you email in your scenario, your problem, give them as much information as you can or comfortable with. They will then research it amongst their panel of experts and send you back a solution. So there's a lot of value here, incredible amount of value. So anyway, I thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and yes, tell you, and you're covered anywhere in the country.
I just wanted to mention,
And Canada, by the way.
the reason why I feel like quite a lot of questions is because I feel you did a really good job explaining everything, and I've heard a lot of different fact that prepaid legal associates, now LegalShield, gave this presentation. But I really like how you presented it because you gave the information very humble, very nice way. And what I'd like to do is, would you be interested in doing more of an extensive presentation at our San Jose location? Would you be able to do that after the new year?
Of course, absolutely. This is dating myself, but when you're grown up and you're vaccinated with a phonograph needle all your life, you don't mind talking.
You're good at it.
Well, I appreciate it. I like to deal with things that I'm passionate about and I believe in. And I gotta tell you right now, it's saved my family on a few occasions. Big time. Big time. So, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Or if anybody else, you have another type of a group you're involved with, you think that they would benefit by knowing, happy to. No, obviously, no hard sell, just some information, paying forward, yeah.
Thank you, John.
My pleasure.